The creator of Pogles Wood, Bagpuss and many more is Oliver Postgate. Well, Oliver, you seem to have brought whole families of them with you.
Oh, yes, yes, of course.
Let us know who they all are, would you?
Well, this is Bagpuss. He's here sitting on my lap. He's in very good health still, and there's some of his friends here, the mice off the mouse organ, and Professor Yaffle, of course. And then some clangers. The tiny clangers are a bit sleepy at the moment. She's got her ears over her eyes, which is how they go to sleep. But the others are quite happy. She's been sitting in the studio all morning and she's a bit fed up. But the others are fine. And then, of course, we have the old Pogles and Mr. and Mrs Pogle. I couldn't find Pippin. He's about somewhere out in the woods somewhere, but they're still alive and kicking. Well, not exactly kicking, they're crumbling, but they're all right.
But they're all living with you, are they?
They're living with Peter Firmin, my colleague who made them, and they're very happy. They have a glass case now, and the moth can't get at them, thank goodness, because the moth got a lot of our early ones. Great pity, that.
They're still very popular, aren't they? Why is that, do you think?
I don't know. It was a great joy for us that these middle-aged people come to us. You know, well, not middle-aged, young middle-aged. When I talk about middle-aged, the mothers who saw them, mothers and fathers who saw them when they were young, and come to us and say, "Why don't you show them on television anymore?" And we say, "Well, it's not up to us. We have them on video, though. You can buy them, and you can buy them in books." So, these are nice books. These Clangers books have just come out. They're very nice because they actually have the score in them, so that when you were wondering what the Clangers were actually saying, now at last we know what they were actually saying.
But going back to those days, was it very sophisticated when you made them?
No, we had to make a film for £100, and you don't make a film for £100. The first Noggin films were made for £100, and you don't do that sophisticated. You do that very, very do-it-yourself. I made the camera stand, I made the animation table, I had a piece of bicycle, lots of pieces of bicycle, and we had to produce the stuff very fast. So essentially, we had to use single frame animation, which is tremendously sophisticated. We had to pare it down to where we could get 2 minutes a day out, which is about what the whole of the Disney studios got out in a day.
So you had just very small number of movements.
Oh, yeah. Very crude. Well, Mr. Pogle, he said, well, wife, what's for dinner? Well, we always eat bean cake for dinner and so on. And he moved in a sort of punctuation gestures with still in between. And it worked out tremendously strong. And perfectly acceptable.
You did all the noises and voices?
Oh, yeah, well, we didn't do all of them, but we did whatever one could do, one did. No, I had some stalwart friends and actors who came, and we did the soundtracks first, complete, and then we started the pictures. So we always had the rails to run on, which was the soundtrack already made.
And what's this thing that you brought?
Oh, no, this is a clanger voice, yes, this is... The clanger scripts were written out in full in English, and Stephen Sylvester and I sat opposite each other with music stands and we played it. And the opening of the film you just saw on clangers was, which when written out was the bloody thing stuck again. And Ursula Eason rang me up and said, "But darling, you can't say that on television." And I said, "Well, it's only to be whistled, yes, but people will know." And I said, no, I don't think they will. And in fact, when we took them to Germany and I played them the soundtrack without my voice over it, they said, no, we understood every word. They were speaking perfect German.
Splendid. Yes. Why is Bagpuss in academic dress?
Well, he has a life of his own now. He and Peter and I were awarded honorary degrees at Kent University. I mean, they had to give Peter and I the honorary degrees because they couldn't give them to the cat, but they made it perfectly clear that the one they wanted was Bagpuss. And when, after the inauguration in Canterbury Cathedral, I had to make a little speech, I said, the one you've really come to see is here. So I picked him up out of the basket underneath, and he got a tremendous cheer. Disgraced the cathedral with this. But he's a bit revolutionary. He has no truck with that sort of bourgeois flummery. He's an orthodox meowist.
But he still keeps it all, the gear on.
Oh, yeah, he hasn't taken it off. No, he won't take it off now, once he's got it on.
Well, Anna, would you like to give us your last, final thoughts and hopes for the future of children's television?
Well, I hope that children's television will continue to go on in the tradition that was started way back in the early years, because I think it's an enormously important part of broadcasting. And I think particularly broadcasting for the very young, the kind of age group we've been talking about this morning, is extremely important. So I think we will all go on fighting for it, and I know people like Oliver and all the people who have contributed over the years will do so as well.
But don't you think they're watching more and more adult television these days?
Yes, they are, but they're also watching programmes made especially for them, and I think that is very important, that they have programmes which are made from their perspective, that reflects their concerns and their interests, as well as programmes which are made for the general audience.
You agree with that, Oliver?
Oh yes, yes. Basically, I mean that is a basic. It sounded very valedictory. It's not going to finish or something, is it? I mean,
No. But it's always under threat. I mean, it's always one of those areas where people feel it's under threat, and the money's not going to go round and all that. But I can tell you that as far as the BBC is concerned, we're alive and kicking and very confident.
Well, thank you, Anna Hume and Oliver Postgate.